Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to select random elements from list, tuple and string using random.choice function from Python. So first we'll see random.choice function in Python. We used to select normally random elements from non-empty sequence. So that is like from either list or tuple or string. And what is the syntax for random.choices? So there are two things will be there, random.choice and random.choices. So here I given syntax for random.choices. So here I will enter for random.choice. Okay, so there are two things. One is random.choice. Just a second. Yeah, so one is random.choice and sequence. So this sequence can be either list, tuple, or string. So similar way, random.choices, sequence can be this one, either list, tuple, or string. And we can enter weights and cumulative weights and k factor. So either k equal to 1, 2. So any number we can mention. So these three are optional. Okay. So what it does is this sequence. So this sequence, as we discussed, it can be either of these three, list, tuple, or string. And what these weights? So this is optional. Okay, so default will be none. So if you want to mention this, you have to mention in the form of list of elements. So where you can weigh possibility of each value. Okay, so next cumulative weight. So this also optional. So this also you can mention in the form of list elements. So but this is only possibility is accumulated and the default is none. And even this k also optional. So if you want to mention, you can mention it as integer, defining the length of the return list. So that means we'll see an example. So while explaining example, I'll show you what is the purpose of k and what is the return value by using this function. So it returns a single random element from a specified sequence. So sequence means this one, either list, tuple, range, or string. So if the sequence is empty, it will raise an index error. So this we'll see with some examples. So first what we have to do is we have to import this random function. So here two things we can use it. So if you're importing only random, then we have to mention here random.choice. Otherwise, if you're mentioning this one, if you're importing choice from random, you have to mention like this, import random, then from random import choice. So that means if you're importing this choice, then instead of random.choice, you can directly mention choice. You can replace this one with choice. Okay. So this is the difference between these two. So first what I'm doing, random selection from range. So by using range function, so I'm trying to select random values. So first what I'm doing, I want to select numbers between 1 and 100. So for that what I'm doing, I'm using range function between 1 and 101. Okay, so I mentioned range, start and end value. And on top of that, I'm using random dot choice. So that means this one, it will generate values from 1 to 100. And among these 1 to 100, I'm randomly selecting some value element. Okay, so that is choice. So very first time it's generating 41. So this 41 is between 1 to 100. So next what we'll do, I'm creating one list of elements. See here I'm directly pausing range. Okay, range. between 1 to 100. Here what I'm doing, I'm using range. So I want elements between 1 to 12, and that I'm converting to list. So later I'm doing for loop for I in range 15. So I want to iterate 15 random elements. So I'm printing random.choice new. New means this one. So whatever list of elements which generates between 1 to 11. So by using those elements, I want to generate 15 random elements. See, these values will vary every time. See, okay. So 11, now it will change. So every time it will change, and but total number of elements it will produce is 15 because for loop we given up to 15. So next what we'll do, choose 5 numbers between 1 to 100. So here I'm using list comprehension. So what I'm doing first, random dot rand integer 1 to 100. So this random dot rand integer, I already made a video. It is in my PySpark playlist. You can watch this one. So how to use this function. So what it does is random dot rand integer is it will generate integer value between 1 to 100. So random value it will generate. So those random values I am doing for loop iterate for I in range 5. That means 5 random values I am generating here. See, by using this, I am able to generate uh, random elements between 1 to 100, but I want to iterate only 5 elements. See, by using first this one, random dot rand integer 1 to 100. So by using this, I am generating these 5 elements. Okay, first I'm generating these 5 elements among 1 to 100. Later, from this list of elements, I am select using this one random dot choice of my list. So that means from this list of elements, I am randomly selecting element. So my choice is 14. If you run one more time, these numbers will vary and this output will also vary. Okay, so next, select a random element from a list. So random.choice is used to select a random item from the list. So we have 3 options. Okay, one is list, tuple, range, and string. So here I'm trying to explain about list. So each item in the list has an equal chance of being selected. So the function is commonly used in scenarios where you need to make a random selection from the list of options to perform random sampling. So for this, what I'm doing, first I'm creating a list of elements, string elements. So here in this example, here I'm trying to generate uh, integers. Okay. Here I try to generate a list of integers. So here I'm giving list of strings. So what I'm doing, first I'm printing. So that is this one, this list of elements, string elements. So from this, on top of this, I'm using random.choice on department. That means on this list of elements. So what it does is among this list of elements, it will randomly pick one of the element. See, first time it selected sales. If I try to run one more time, it will change. Okay, if I try to run one more time, see this, now it selected service. If I run one more time, admin. Okay, so every time it will get change. So next we'll see for in case of nested list, how it works. So I have list. So this is one list and this is one list and this is one list. So under main list, if you see starting and ending square brackets, under this we have three lists, nested lists. So what I'm doing, I'm using random.choice and applying on this nested list. Okay. So now what will happen? It will select any one of the list among these three. See, very first time it selected 1, 2, 3. That means first list, sublist. If I try to run one more time, see now second time it selected second list. If I run one more time, see it again selected first one. So if I run one more time, okay, so it will change every time. Next, what we'll do, select a random character from a string. So total we have three, no? So one is range and second is list, third one is string. So suppose I have this string. Okay, so string is stored in variable called letters. So in from among this string, I want to select some random element, or you can say random character. So what I'm doing, random.choice and letters from this string. So what it does is it randomly selects Z. So from this string, it randomly selecting Z. If I run second time, so this will vary. So now it is V. If I run one more time, W. Okay. So every time this value will change. Next, same string only. I'm taking example string as Python. What I'm doing is I'm doing iteration for I in range 2. So range is 2 and I'm defining variable. Here I'm defining random.choice string. So the string is Python. So if I try to run this one, since I given range 2, so it will iterate two times. Okay. So 0 and 1, that means from Python, randomly it will select any two of the characters. So first time it selected H and O. If I run one more time, see now second time it selected both H. If I run one more time, see now it is N and T. So every time it will change. You can change this value also. Maybe you can change to range 4. And if I try to run, so it will select 4 default characters from this Python. Okay. So next we'll see select a random element from a tuple. So this is our fourth one. So instead of list, I'm mentioning tuple. So in tuple, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm using random.choice on top of these numbers. So what it print is, it will print any one of the element from this. So my first time it generated my random number as 2. If I run one more time, this may change. Now it is 1. If I try to run one more time, 4. Okay, so every time it will get changed. Next, what we'll do, we'll try on dictionary. So what we do is get random key or value pair using the Python choice. So random.choice upon the dictionary to get a single random key value pair from the given dictionary. So key as list, we are initializing the dictionary and then get the dictionary keys as the list and pass it as an argument to the choice. So first I created one dictionary. In dictionary, I have key value pair. So course is Python and fee, this amount, duration, this is the value. So, and this is my dictionary. So this dictionary I'm trying to print here. So that is this one, dictionary. So from this dictionary, I'm using the random.choice function on list of dictionary. So we are converting this dictionary to list. converting to list, then we are getting the key values. See, first what it does is it will convert this dictionary to list. Then what I'm trying is, so I want a key and colon and dictionary of key. So dictionary of key, that is this one. From this list, it will select what it will select, key. So since I mentioned key, no, so by randomly it's selecting 4,500. So what is my key here is fee. So that means this is fee, and here I given colon, that is this colon, and my dictionary key is this one, 4,500. So every time it will change. If you try to run this, now this may change, fee 4,500. Now it changed to duration 45 days. So every time it will get changed. Now simulating a random decision. So that means I'm using random.choice, and I'm using list of elements. So I have 3 elements here, means 3 strings I have. So what it print is, it will print some random among these 3. So very first time it selected, maybe if I try to run one more time, this is changing. If I run one more time, again this is changing. Okay, and how to create function for random.choice. How to create function and how to use this random.choice. So I'm using def function and defining name. Function name I defined here, and I written sequence. And what I need to return is random.choice and sequence. So what I need is, here I'm calling this function, whatever I created function, and this sequence, in place of sequence, I'm passing list of elements. So here we can pass any of the four types. That means either range or list or tuple or dictionary or string. So for this example, I'm currently passing list of elements. So what it print is, say get random element. So there are 2 things. Okay, so first I given list of elements. So up to this, for this, what it generates is random.choice we given now. So among this list of elements, it randomly picking 50. And here one more thing I'm giving, I'm using this function, but here I'm mentioning string. So from the string hello, it randomly select some character. Okay, so here it selected L. If I try to run one more time, these values may get changed. See, now it is 10 and E. So same case, so here I explained with the 2 examples, okay, list of elements and string. So you can check for other types, like you can use tuple. So suppose I'll pass tuple here. If I try to pass instead of string tuple. Just a minute, I will correct this code. So here I added 2 more items. So one is tuple and I added range. So, so tuple also similar. So among these tuple, it will select some random value. Now that is here selected 50 very first time, and the second time I given range between 1 to 100. It selected 85. If I try to run one more time, these values will change. So try to run one more time. Now these values will change. Okay, so this how we can create function and we can run different random elements from different sequences. So next what we'll do, select a random word from list of words. Okay, so this example we already saw, similar example. So here I'm passing list of strings, and I'm using random.choice, and I'm defining on these words, and it will pick among these some default string, or you can say word. If I try to run second time, it will pick a different string. Okay, now it is Python. And we'll see now exceptions. So normally when we pass an empty sequence into the choice function, it will raise an index error. So empty sequence means it can be either a range or list, tuple, or string or dictionary. So all these all these three different uh, things, if you pass as an empty element, it will raise an exception error. Suppose if you take example for list, empty list. So this is the example for an empty list. So here I created one variable and defined empty list. And I'm using random.choice and I'm defining this empty list. If you try to print, it won't give any random element. Since this is empty, it will throw this error, exception error. Okay, so cannot choose from an empty sequence. So next example, suppose I have integer value. Okay, so I define integer one value 50, and if I use random.choice and that integer, it will print object of type integer has no length. So here I explained with the empty list and single integer. You can try with empty tuple or string, a dictionary. So now we'll see for empty tuple. So I'm defining empty tuple here, and I'm using random.choice, and I'm taking this empty tuple here. If I try to execute, it will throw an index error. I cannot choose from an empty sequence. So similar way, I took empty string and I used random.choice on string, this empty string, and similar error it will throw, cannot use from an empty sequence. So similar way, I given empty dictionary and I'm used random.choice on this dictionary. And if you try to print this one, so it will throw this exception index error. I cannot choose from an empty sequence. So that's all about this video, how to use random.choice function on sequence of elements. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.